Trampers, let's talk about the good old days when we were younger. The idea for this video popped into my head when I was doing my laundry. Trying to find a laundrette nowadays. In the good old days, there was a laundrette on near enough every street. Well, not every street, but you know what I mean? You could always find a laundrette. I mean, nowadays, everybody has a washing machine. In the old days, people couldn't afford a washing machine, so a laundrette was the only option. Now, nowadays, the only option seems to be the Revolution washing machines located service stations, garages, supermarkets. And that seems to be the only option we have nowadays. Now, when I was younger, and I used to hear the older people talk about how it was better in the old days, I used to scoff at that. I think, sure, yeah, it wasn't that much better. But now that I'm one of the older people, I'm starting to think that things used to be better in the older days. It seemed safer. Yeah, when I was a child, I'd go out playing with my friends from early morning to late at night. My parents had no issues with me doing that because it was safe. Slightly different nowadays, isn't it? Parents are afraid to let their children out because society is a lot more dangerous now. Well, that's one thing which was better in the old days. Life seemed a lot easier back in the day. Or was it? Yeah, I think in today's age, life seems a lot more complicated. And society seems to have changed quite a lot over the years. It used to be a friendly place. Well, everybody seemed friendlier when I was younger. I mean, when I'm thinking back to when I was fairly young. I mean, I think I had about half a dozen aunties down the road. Well, not actually aunties, if you know what I mean. But it was somewhere my parents could leave me with Auntie Sue or Auntie Phyllis or somebody who lived down the road. And it meant that we interacted a lot more with each other. Nowadays, that doesn't seem to happen. No, everybody's only concerned with their own little unit, family unit, and they don't really want to know what anybody else is doing. Do you know your neighbours? Do you know the name of your neighbours? Let me know in the comments how many neighbours you know by name. I'm betting it's not that many now. In the good old days, you probably knew everybody who lived on your street by name. And you probably, if anybody had a problem, everybody would rally round and help out. Do you think that's still the case nowadays? Again, let me know in the comments what you think about that. Just touching on the subject of my vlogs, I think I'm going to decide to do 2 a week. I think I'm going to try and do one on a Tuesday at 6 o'clock and Saturday at 6 o'clock. I'm going to try and schedule those to be more consistent. If I find or film something in between those 2 days, I'll stick out an extra short or video. Now this week is a boring week. I'm not actually going anywhere. I'm living in a van full time. It's a cheaper way of living. But fuel costs are quite high. So to keep driving hundreds of miles each week is a bit expensive. So this week I'm doing very little travelling. I'm just going to stay local. Save a bit of money on the old diesel. Now getting back to what I'm talking about, I just went off on a tangent there. Was it better in the old days when we were young? I'd like to know in the comments what you'd think. Was it better in the old days? Did you like living in the old days? I mean, this is aimed at people who of any age, but primarily for us who are a bit older. You remember the good old days. And as I said previously, I think it was better when I was younger than it is nowadays. We seem to have become isolated, a lot more isolated now from our fellow man or woman. And that's another thing, political correctness. In the old days you could say quite a lot. I mean, fair enough, a lot of it was probably quite racist back in the day. But you could speak your mind. Now it's a bit more difficult to speak your mind, just in case you get it politically incorrect and you say something which other people deem as not being correct or politically correct, and then you get censored for it, one form or another. Well, at least it's not raining today. What that's got to do with the good old days, well, that's another thing. Weather. When I was younger and we had the school holidays in the summer, We actually had a summer. Long sunny days, weeks on end. And then in the winter, we have a bit of snow around Christmas time. That was about it, really. And then rain in April. The seasons used to turn, and you knew what to expect back in the old days. But nowadays, the weather's so changeable. From one day to the next, from one month to the next. The seasons have seemed to have all been mixed up. And the extremes of weather we seem to be getting nowadays, so much worse. I mean, the amount of gale force winds we had in the last 12 months, then we have a drought, and then we have loads of rain. Now, I don't know if global warming is the cause. I'm not a scientist. Or maybe it's a way of nature fighting back for the harm that the human race is doing in the world. But it does seem to be getting worse and worse. The extremes are becoming very extreme. I mean, you've got downpours and flooding and really heavy rain in Spain, for instance, which is really unusual. Droughts in rainy countries, rain in sunny countries. What's all that about? Everything's been turned upside down with regards to weather, I think, nowadays. Let me know in the comments what you think about this global warming. Is that the cause for all this extreme weather? Or is that just a conspiracy theory? And that's another thing which didn't used to be around back in the old days, conspiracy theories. Or maybe they were around, but I just didn't know about them. Political climate's changed. Or has it? You know, the Labour government in power at the moment seems a bit more like the Conservative government. Conservatives seem more like Labour. And then you have somebody like Reform, who I'm not quite sure who they are like. Right wing, left wing. Things used to be more black and white in the good old days. Nowadays everything's a bit blurry between one thing and another. Anyway, this is my little talk about the good old days when we were younger. And was it better in the good old days? Or is that just blinkered thinking on my part? Let me know in the comments if you agree with what I'm talking about. So, I think I'm going to leave this one here. And continue on my little walk. At least there's still nature to enjoy. Or what's left of it. That's another thing which has changed over the years, hasn't it? Yeah. There's probably less nature to enjoy in this country than there used to be. But at least you can still seek it out. So if you found this little video interesting, give us a like. And if you haven't subscribed and you feel like subscribing, well, you can give it a go. See what I'll come up with next. So until the next time, bye for now.